crisp, cold fall morning in the mountains, with the smell of hunting on the wind. And on the mind of Laramy Sasquatch Miller are venison and buckskin.
There's two of them. That's a good start. I got deer in my horse pasture. Or at least a doe, and where there's does, there's gonna be bucks sooner or later. I'll settle for any of them.
For Laramy, on the edges of the timber and travel routes between beds and food are where he'll look for rutting bucks on the passionate search for willing does.
This is one of my favorite places to hunt whitetail right here. Actually right behind my house, but I've got a scrape line that's probably a quarter to half a mile long, and there is a ton of deer in this area. I'm just gonna keep working up and down this ridge, following about 100 yards off of this scrape line and all these rubs through here and seeing if I can't get lucky and come up on a deer.
Rubs and scrapes are sure signs the bucks are back in town. With the dying light, the deer are growing only more active. A whitetail buck could appear anywhere, anytime. All his attention fixed on a doe in season. So for Laramy, it's hunt and look, hunt and look, confident he'll cross paths with a whitetail somewhere.
And these high mountain whitetail, they're a lot different to hunt than any of your other whitetail around the country that I've found out. Up here, they have so much country to roam. A big whitetail buck, he doesn't move very far in his lifetime, except for during the rut. He might travel a couple, 3-5 miles. But around here, they got so much country, they act almost like mule deer. It's open in some spots and thick in others. They'll bed down right in the wide open, and they're so camouflaged you can't hardly see them.
Whitetail make a home out of these wind-blown mountains, as much as out of fields and swamps.
I mean, they got hundreds of thousands of acres to run. So finding them is a little bit more difficult than if you were, just hunting hardwoods and food plots or stuff like that. You've got a lot of country to cover. But guess what? That's the way I like it. This is a great spot to do some rattling. I got this little staging area where them bucks might be chasing does through and whatnot.
You want to simulate real deer fighting as much as you can, so you want to go hard for a minute or two, and then maybe take a 10-second break, go hard again. Them bucks, sometimes they'll fight for 5-10 minutes. You want to try to paint a picture in that buck's mind.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
It's a good sign.
I'm gonna have to wait for him to go right over that ridge.
Where there's does, bucks are sure to follow. As certain as Christmas, a fine buck appears.
Well, looks like it's another night in the books for Sasquatch. Time to go get some grub and go to bed. Try it again tomorrow.
Just had 2 does over the top of this little ridge. Get some meat for the freezer.
It may be bona fide elk country, but whitetail have climbed up here too. You might try rattling to call them in out of thousands of acres. But it's also the rut, and bucks could appear anywhere the does have passed through. Buck or doe, Laramy can put a tag on either for his season's venison, so he seeks whichever comes within reasonable bow range. Some think a buck's the only fitting game for a hunter, but those would be fools. From meat to management, taking does makes perfect sense.
I just had 2 does. They just crept over the top of this little ridge. I'm gonna go sneak up there, see if I can't get some meat for the freezer. We have to try to be as quiet as we possibly can. Poof. They're magic deer. They have invisible cloaks.
Tell you what, spotting and stalking whitetail is one of the tougher things to do.
Bow hunting legend Fred Bear took 6 years to spot and stalk his first whitetail, a doe. There are chores to do back in camp, so Sasquatch puts up his bow at midday. Winter demands warm hides as well as food, and that takes work. For the mountain men, winter could be the starvation time. The frozen weather could make him so wolfish he'd eat the inner bark of pines and fir trees, the way the Indians taught him. But those same Indians saw torture as an honorable thing to do to enemies. And more than one mountain man was buried to his chin in the sun, his eyelids sliced off, or his own cut-off part stuffed into his mouth and his lips sewn shut. And the bear was always waiting to lift him into the air with its jaws, claw down to the white of ribs, break bones the mountain man had to set himself, or let the flies blow his rotting flesh so maggots could clean it. Some call it fleshing, others flinching. It's the way you dress a hide.
The main thing you're trying to do here is you're just trying to get all the fat and meat off. And once you get it down, like you can look and see right there, that's about where you want it. I'm just about ready to stretch this out and then take the hair side off.
A bone needle makes the holes to string the thongs through to stretch the hide out on a frame to dry and unhair it with the scraper. A long, repetitive, and itchy business.
As you can tell, it's kind of a dirty job. You're gonna get hair all over you. It's definitely physical, but anything that's worth it ain't easy. There's wet scraping and dry scraping. Right here, this is dry scraping. When you're dry scraping like this, it's like shaving. You're gonna have to go with the grain, against the grain, just depending on how that hair's growing. It'll take you a little bit to figure it out. You're gonna have to go every which way in order to get all the hair off.
Nothing came easy to the old mountain man, not even making their clothes.
You know what? Nowadays you can go buy just about anything you want, but there's something to be said about making it yourself. Could be a shirt, could be a dress for my daughter. There's no telling, but I want to make sure I get the most buckskin I can. So I'm going to cut this off. So I'm going to finish out these edges, and then I'm going to roll it up in a towel, a wet towel. It's getting too late. I can't brain tan it today, so I'm going to brain tan it tomorrow, roll it up in a wet towel, be good to go.
It's coming on hunting time again in the afternoon, and Laramy wants to get into position.
Right up here, this ridge is really, really good. It's a game crossing. The whitetail and the elk love it up here. There's a saddle right up here that they cross back and forth through. I'm just gonna slowly move up through here. Maybe I'll get lucky.
They spotted me before I spotted them. I think I need to sharpen my skills a little bit.
Now, Laramy has something to ponder through the night. Up here in the high country, Laramy Sasquatch Miller knows that whitetail are as common as elk. While in between hunts, he's working buckskin for clothes. And there's no harder way to whitetail than stalking them with a bow.
A lot of people ask me, how the heck do you stalk in this stuff? It's so loud. Well, the biggest key is patience. The next biggest key is when you see that animal, no side to side moving. The critters will pick up on side to side quicker than heck, but if you just slowly move straight towards them, always try to keep something in your way. That's not to say you're not going to get busted a few times, but practice sneaking up on your wife and tell me how it works.
Bold words, Laramy. Bold words. Go buy yourself a rifle, a scope, and a box of shells. But if you truly want to hunt in the real spirit of the mountains, build a fire and melt your lead over it. Then cast your own round balls, each one a possible whitetail for your winter's meat.
Early morning right now. Them bucks should be cruising looking for does. This time of year they should be cruising all day. So there's not one time that's any better than any of the rest. But you always got to be on your toes because you never know. There's a great little pinch point right here. These whitetail, they like to use this ridge to transition to each side of this canyon. Been sitting here for a little bit. There was a big burn a few years ago, but that burn's a great place for them bucks to chase does because it's nice and open, and they really like it this time of year. So let's just hope I can get lucky.
Clouds herd like buffalo across the sky, and Laramy moves beneath them, seeking sign and spoor of the deer he must find.
The rut is definitely on. There is deer tracks, running deer tracks all up and down this ridge. You know, these high mountain whitetails like this, they love to run these ridges, especially the bucks. There's a big scrape line about 100 yards off the edge of this ridge. We got a pretty good chance at finding some deer today. The one thing against us is it's warm this morning. It's been in the 30s, getting down into the 20s and teens. Well, this morning it's about 40 and supposed to get up to 50 today. But what do? Give her a heck.
At last, Laramy spots his whitetail across a wide canyon, a test for his hawking.
Across the canyon here I can see, looks like two small bucks sparring a little bit. There's gotta be a hot doe right there. There's gotta be a doe right below him. Oh crap, right to the right of him, there's a nice buck. It's gonna be tough. There's some open country over there. See, if I was a rifle hunter, it'd be a done deal. About 300 yards right there. He's out in the wide open. There is absolutely no way to get to him, so I'm just gonna sit here and watch and see if he beds down, and if he does, then I'm gonna try to make a sneak on it. There's a doe right here, right below us. That doe might bring that big buck over. All right, there's a buck right behind that doe. He's trailing her right up like a bloodhound. Stay on him, stay on. On the ground.
Why does a man today or 200 years gone, want to match himself against the mountains? Who is he to think that he can survive with only his hawk and rifle and native wits? Is it arrogance or reverence or just sheer cussedness that keeps him going? Maybe it's no more than needing to be within arm's reach of the sky and hitching himself to the orbits of the four-legged critters that are the true guides through the black timber and over the white summits. What is the wild freedom he seeks that is denied to the pilgrims of the flatlands? A man like Laramy Miller traverses not in the shadow or the tracks of the mountain men, but at their sides, breaking new trail. He's the one to carry on in every sense.
There's a doe right here. There's a buck right behind that doe.
There's a cap, 3 drams of black powder, and a handmade round ball wrapped in a patch, nesting in the barrel of Laramy's Hawken, ready to trace its course to a whitetail buck coasting through the trees.
How freaking awesome is that? If you don't love the rut, he's a nice, mature mountain whitetail that is going to eat good. I can't handle this. Let's go take a look at it.
You can follow the scent of powder smoke to a kill. And when you're hunting for vital meat and deer hide, what you find at the end is raw treasure.
That's just a nice mountain whitetail right there. He ain't no monster, but I'm tickled to death with him. That's the nice thing about the rut. There ain't no way that you can get a mature buck like that to walk out in the middle of the open. He walked out about 100 yards below us. Boom. Nice, quick, clean kill. Don't get no better than that.
Now the hard chores begin, but it's the way of finding the ultimate reward of a hunt, because Laramy will have venison to hang in the meat shed for the winter, and prime buckskin he can dress and tan, then fashion into a fringed dress for a little mountain girl.
She's introducing herself. This is baby Squatch, Pepper Miller. You little stinker. What do you think? I got a hide that I'm gonna make a dress for my daughter with. I've got meat to feed my family. I love my life. I wouldn't have it any other way. Next fringe comes right there. And on this side,
As long as he has the high country to ride and hike and hunt, Sasquatch has the makings of another generation of mountain men and women.